It's a hump day edition of Dodgers Latest here on our YouTube channel. Happy you're with us here and making us part of your day. Hit us up at Dodgers Latest. Subscriber count keeps going up. Hit that thumbs up button and make us part of your day. And of course, hit me up right there on Instagram and on X at JRodShow. Well, the Dodgers are not enjoying the Heartland, right? They went into Milwaukee stumbling after a 3-game sweep to the Astros, and the Dodgers have lost their 5th in a row, losing last night. Much more competitive game. They lost 3-1 to the young phenom of the Milwaukee Brewers, Jacob Misiorowski. And for the Dodgers, 41-8, they have now been outscored in this 5-game losing streak, which coincidentally happens right when Muncy got hurt. You can't, apples to apples. All things yellow are birds. All birds are taxis. However you want to say it. Muncy goes down, and the Dodgers have lost 5 straight. First time since late May of last year, the Dodgers have lost 5 in a row. And what gets you there, they've been outscored 41-8. Yes, I know the big brunt of it was that 18-1 loss to the Astros, but it still counts. And Jacob Misiorowski of the Brewers, 23-year-old, 12 strikeouts in 6 innings. 12 of the 23 batters he faced, he struck out. The Brewers ended up striking out 15 Dodger batters. First time that's happened since April of this year. So only the second time this year the Dodgers have struck out 15 times in a game. They struck out 15 times against the Nats on the 8th of April. So Misiorowski could be the goods as he gave up a leadoff home run to Ohtani, his 31st home run of the year. That's the good news. Dodgers had the lead after one batter, but Kershaw, despite pitching well, the Dodgers could not hold it, lose 3-1. Ohtani, though, now sets the record for most homers by a Dodger before the All-Star break. He was tied with Cody Bellinger with 30. Shohei now holds the record at 31. Got a feeling Shohei's going to be holding a lot of Dodger records before it's all said and done in his time in Dodger Blue. But that's 5 straight losses, and they'll turn the ball over to Tyler Glasnow this afternoon. It's a day game in Milwaukee. He'll go up against Jose Quintana, the lefty for the Brewers. Then it's an off day tomorrow, and the Dodgers will go to San Francisco to close out the first half of the season before the All-Star break with 3 against the Giants. All right, so yeah, they've been outscored 41-8. It's a bit of a mess, and we talked about how this has happened at the same time as Max Muncy has gotten hurt. And if you talk to the Dodgers staff, Brandon Gomes, the GM, they have no plans on making a trade at third base. We've talked Brian McMahon, we've talked about Nolan Arenado, we've talked about Chris Taylor, we've talked about a lot of guys that could possibly play third base for the Dodgers as a stopgap until Muncy gets back. Dodgers said no, thank you. Despite Teoscar Hernandez now going on the IL with an elbow inflammation, Tommy Edman has got a pinky toe fracture. It's going to be Max Muncy's replacement of Miguel Rojas until further notice. And Miguel hasn't done terrible, both at the bat and at the glove. Of course, he's not Max Muncy. Dodgers may even slip a little Hyun-Sung Kim in there as well. But for now, 6 weeks without Muncy, outscored 41-8. I'm not saying the sky is falling. Dodgers still have an ample lead in the National League West. I guess we'll see what happens in San Francisco. They go out and get swept in San Francisco, and that National League West lead comes down to 3 or 4 games. Maybe it's time to hit the panic button. A lot of baseball left to go. But the Dodgers certainly are going to stand pat as of now at third base. So the trading deadline is looming, July 31st. Would the Dodgers still be able to pull off a deal? And what about Seth Lugo of the Kansas City Royals? I know you're saying, with all the hitting problems, another pitcher? Well, why not? I think the one thing the Dodgers showed us last year was that you can't have enough pitching. You just can't have enough. Both starting, bullpen, openers, fillers, bulk innings, whatever you want to call it, you can't have enough. And Seth Lugo has postseason experience. Started 2 games for the Royals last year in the division series against the Yankees. He's in the second year of a 3-year, $45 million contract that he got with the Royals. He can opt out of his contract after this year, or he can opt in and get paid that $15 million. Listen, his record isn't all that great. He's 6-5, but a very nice 2.67 ERA, a WHIP of 1.08. And he's 3-0 with an ERA of pretty spectacular 1.54 in his last 7 starts. So here's a guy that maybe knows he's on the shelf. And the Royals, I think they're kind of in between, right? Whether they're buyers or they're sellers. They're 14 games out of first place in the division. It seems like nobody's going to catch the Tigers, but they're only 4 out in the wild card. Their problem is they're just not getting any hitting. You know, they need help for Bobby Witt Jr. and company. So would a James Outman, would any sort of a package of a guy who can play every day for them be interesting to part with Seth Lugo? Because they feel that they have enough pitching to win games. They just don't have enough offense. The Dodgers, I think, still need as much pitching as they can because that offense will turn around. Guys like Shohei and Freddie and Mookie, those guys aren't going to be down for the whole season despite this little bad stretch of 41-8. Seth Lugo, a possibility. He's right-handed. Keep that in your back pocket as we get close to July 31st. Now, always love to hear from you. We get the comments, we read them, and we like to talk about them here on Dodgers Latest. And for the Dodgers, in all athletes, they always talk about what's his best ability. Is it defense? Is it offense? Is it batting? Is it speed? Well, the best ability is availability, and that's a great point that is brought up here by Coach G in High Desert. The Dodgers have a mix of talent. Dependability is the question. Glasnow and Snell are 2 of their biggest disappointments. Can't argue with that. And we'll see how Tyler does today on the mound in Milwaukee. In my opinion, the Dodgers will make the playoffs, but will not go far unless the hitting returns. Couldn't agree more. Move Mookie back to right field. We need his bat. Teoscar Hernandez has also been feeling it as he fouled the ball off of his foot. So Dodgers are just in a really funky place right now, right? All of a sudden they're playing good teams. They're not, and I think that's the part that scares you more than anything else. They've played 40 games against teams with winning records, and they're dead even, 20-20. So the question is, are they overperforming against bad teams, which we just saw a big stretch where they won 10 out of 12 against the White Sox and the Nationals and the Royals, or are they not very good against good teams? What was the big mantra they did in the NFL with the Miami Dolphins about how terrible they were against good teams? Well, the Dodgers are a 500 team right now against teams with winning records, and they're in that stretch here against Houston, Milwaukee, and San Francisco, where they're going to face good teams. Now, Mookie to right field seems a bit extreme. I think that illness that Mookie had at the beginning of the season has had his way with him, hasn't been able to catch up. The Major League Baseball season is like spinning a plate on a stick, and then you've got to worry about hitting and defense and other things too, and in your personal life, and you got to keep that plate spinning. And I think for Mookie, just getting off to that bad start with that stomach bug that he had, I think really set him back. Now, a couple days off, the All-Star break, come home, get back to it. Will that do it? I hope so. I think Mookie will be back. I think, Ohtani went through his little phase. It looks like he's back to doing the things that he does. Not a big fan of the pitching, although he should pitch this weekend in San Francisco. Freddie, Teoscar has been fighting it. I think it's just been a collective slump. This team will hit. I'm more concerned of, will they get the pitching, and then will the pitching have an expiration date with the use of the bullpen? It's a fascinating description. And oh, by the way, this is still a team with one of the best records in baseball, first place team. These, I guess, are kind of good problems to have when you stop and think about it. Hey, good problem to have is hanging out with you guys every day here on Dodgers Latest. Hit the like button, subscribe, tell your friends, hit us up on social media. You can find me at X on Instagram at JRodShow. Hit that thumbs up button and keep growing here on our daily channel. I'm Jim Rodriguez, and as always, it's time for Dodger Baseball.